So today, we're going to dig into an announcement that's trying to redefine, well, the very word computer. Perplexity just dropped a new system, and they're not calling it a new tool or a platform. Nope, they're calling it Perplexity Computer. So let's get into why that's such a bold claim.
Okay, so to really get what Perplexity is attempting here, you have to start with their core idea. They're making the case that for centuries, the word computer has always pointed to one thing: the autonomous division of complex work. You see, this isn't about some new apps sitting on top of the stack. This is about rethinking the stack itself, right from the foundational layer.
And look, this isn't just some clever marketing line. It's actually rooted in history. I mean, the very first computers back in 1757, they were people, humans, breaking down these massive calculations to predict when Halley's Comet would return. Then that evolved into electronic machines, and more recently, into the AI agents we're all using. Every step was a huge leap in abstraction. Which, brings us to the big question for today: what is the next leap? Perplexity is betting this is it.
All right, so you might be thinking, our current AI models are already crazy powerful, right? Why do we even need something new? Well, the answer gets into what Perplexity is calling the AI bottleneck. Turns out, the models themselves, they're not the problem anymore.
Here's the heart of the issue. The frontier AI models, the engines deep down in the stack, they're just getting exponentially better. But the products we actually use to get to them, the chat interfaces and the apps, they've become the bottleneck. It's like the user interface layer is now holding back the true horsepower of the intelligence layer underneath.
And here's the real twist in the plot. The conventional wisdom, what everyone thought was going to happen, was that these giant models would just become a commodity, like a utility you just plug into. But we're seeing the exact opposite. We are not getting one single model to rule them all. Instead, we're getting extreme specialization, and that's fragmenting the entire AI landscape.
I mean, this is the daily grind for anyone trying to build something complex with AI today. It's this manual juggling act, right? You use Opus for your heavy-duty reasoning, then you pivot over to Gemini for some deep research. You call up Grok for a quick, lightweight task, then you have to hit a totally different model for image generation. The user, or the developer, ends up having to be the human orchestration layer, manually stitching together API calls from a dozen different specialized services.
And this is the exact problem that Perplexity Computer is designed to solve. It's not another model. It's a brand new orchestration system that's meant to sit on top of the entire AI stack and just manage all that complexity for you.
So, what is it really? Think of it as a general-purpose digital worker. The key idea here isn't about answering a single question or a single prompt. It's about taking on and executing an entire workflow. It's built to manage a whole project, from the very first bit of research to the final deliverable, using the same digital tools a person would.
And this comparison here, it really drives the point home. A chatbot gives you an answer. The computer executes a whole process that could go on for months. And this is crucial. A chatbot is usually stuck with just one model. But the computer? It's model agnostic. It's the conductor leading this whole orchestra of specialized AIs, always picking the absolute best instrument for each little piece of the symphony.
Okay, so the concept is killer, but how does it actually work? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the mechanics of this orchestration engine. It all starts with you, but instead of giving a command, you describe an outcome. So instead of saying, write me some code for a website, you'd say something like, build a marketing website for my new coffee shop. Then the computer basically acts like a project manager. It drafts a plan, breaks it all down into individual tasks, and then it spins up these specialized sub-agents to do the actual work. One to research your competitors, another to write the copy, another to generate images. And they all work in parallel. At the end, you just get the finished product.
Now, if we geek out on the architecture for a second, there are a few features that make this thing incredibly robust. First, it's autonomous. If an agent gets stuck, it can just spawn a new sub-agent to solve the problem, like going off to research a new API. It's also asynchronous, so it's running tasks in parallel, not just in one single line. And get this, each task gets its own sandboxed compute environment with a real file system, a browser, tool integrations, the whole shebang. And finally, and this is the killer feature for me, it's built with a model-agnostic harness. That means it's future-proof. As new, better models come out, this system can just plug them in and use the best tool for any given job.
All right, let's zoom out and tie this all together. By solving this really hard orchestration problem, what Perplexity is arguing for is nothing less than a fundamental paradigm shift in what we even think of as a computer. So here's the bottom line.
For a while now, we've had these brilliant, specialized AI models, but they've been kind of like virtuoso musicians playing alone in separate rooms. They were missing that orchestration system, that conductor, to coordinate all their talents across different tasks, tools, and over time. Perplexity is basically saying that system is finally here.
And that all leads to this massive, paradigm-shifting statement. AI is now the computer. In this new world, the intelligence, the reasoning, the actual work, it all happens at the AI layer of the stack. The hardware underneath is just the substrate that it all runs on. The AI is the computer. It's a statement that just completely reframes the modern tech stack.
And that leaves us with this final, really thought-provoking question. We are moving from a world where we have to give machines these super precise step-by-step commands to a world where we can simply describe the outcome we want. The implications of that are just massive. So when the machine's job is to figure out the how, the only real limit is our imagination. What will you create?